Hi, this is the continuation of the previous video. Um, I hope you took a coffee, refreshed yourself. I didn't. I'm just continuing as it is because I gotta go to bed soon. Um, so, in order to understand Bitcoin a little bit more in depth, or have to understand the basics of Bitcoin, I want you to I want to take you to the history. So, anytime when we read about the history of anything, what happens is that builds a bond between us and the thing that we study about because we know the history of it, right? So I want to talk about money because we are talking about cryptocurrency. I want to provide you with another explanation on Bitcoin, a different try, but still for a sixth grader, because I want to make sure that everyone understands Bitcoin. There's no questions about whether I didn't understand it right. I'm trying multiple levels. Now, after this, what we're going to do is we are going to do a real textbook definition, but it's going to be third video, third or fourth video. This video is still for the sixth grader, right? So, in the beginning of the very beginning, there used to be a system called barter system. What it means is I grow vegetables at my farm. Someone else grow chickens, right? His farm, and they eat chicken all the time, but they don't eat vegetables. One day they decided, why don't I give one chicken to this guy and grab some vegetables from him, right? And he started doing it. Now, one guy has the third guy who has only potatoes. Now, the potato guy wants to get chicken, and he goes to this chicken guy and asks him, "Hey, these are my potatoes. Give me a chicken." Chicken guy said, "I don't eat potatoes. I hate potatoes, so I can't give you my chicken." No, this guy's in a trap, right? So he goes to the first guy, exchange vegetables, goes back to this guy and say, "Okay, now you give me the chicken." And he say, "Oh, okay, now I give you the chicken." Now people realize this barter system is too complex because sometimes this is two layers of conversion. Well, sometimes you need to do 10 layers of conversion, right? The barter system. So they used to they decided so instead of this we want a common piece, right? Because vegetable cannot be a common thing that I can move around because vegetable get expired soon. But I want to buy something in bulk, keep it so that that's my money. I can always use it to sell it. And salt. Salt is not destroyable or it doesn't get destroyed, right? You can store salt for years, centuries. Wheat, for you can keep it for some time, right? Gold they didn't invent by then, so salt and wheat were the system that but replaced barter system initially, right? And it based on the country and its place and everything. There are some salt is not even there in some places. So then they found the gold, right? They discovered the gold and all those things. Then the first guy who was presented with the gold and somebody sent and went and they say, "Hey, I have gold. Can you give me wheat or can you give me vegetables?" And this guy said, "Gold? No, I don't care about gold." Now, this guy went and tried many times. There's a movie about it. One guy is giving so much gold and he's not even, they don't give him anything because these guys don't understand what gold means. Now, if you look at yourself and Bitcoin today, I I know there are so many people today decline Bitcoin. They declined free airdrops, right? Because they don't know anything about it. So that's the same thing happened in gold, and that story is really the resonates with the many things that are here in the world today. Okay. Now what happened is the gold biscuits or gold coins became the medium of the world, right? Then silver coin also started coming in. Then there are more other metals became also coins, cheap coins. But gold coins became the way of life for centuries in the world. Gold coins. And interestingly, the gold coin represents the value of the coin. Means 1 gram gold coin exactly represents the value of the coin back then, right? So kings, when they do the trades, they always exchange coins and sometimes diamonds and precious stones and all those things. But they always had exact value. So the value is being transferred from place to another place. And imagine you have to buy a lot of gold, how much gold, by large transaction, how much gold you need to bring, and people steal it and all those things, right? So that happened, and then there was a something called a banking system. So people went to the bank and gave the gold to them. This all happened. This probably didn't happen in every part of the world. Some places, right? So people went to the bank and said, "Hey, I have the gold. Why don't you keep the gold? Give me the paper, right? And treasury paper or whatever paper you can give me that. I am going through the forest to the next place and give them there. And you just establish a system where only if I go there, I get the money. It's like personal check or something like that. Because if people will steal the paper from you and present it the other place, they still won't get the money back. They have the same person has to do it, or maybe a passcode protected. So those kind of systems established eventually. So paper started replacing gold, but gold was always backed up in the local, right? So this is why you need to understand the gold-backed money or asset-backed money, right? So early 1900, what happened is there are so many countries, even today's many countries, for example, Venezuela. If somebody says, okay, I'll give you one sack of Venezuelan currency. So Venezuela, they weigh the currency. They don't count it anymore because this currency doesn't have any value. So they weigh in a sack or they put it in a big bag and give you 10 kilo pounds or 10 kilograms of currency and say, okay, this is valuable, you keep it. You don't keep it because you don't trust the government, right? Why you don't trust the government? Government is also like an organization, right? Or a company. Well, certain companies or certain people you don't trust because you don't think they have it, right? They don't have the power to pay you back, right? So the governments started holding gold behind their locker. Then they issued currency to the world, and this has become a system in 1900s. And what happened with that is that's what people started calling gold standard, right? So gold standard, check out gold standard in this is historical term. 1933, there is a major event happened. One president, I forgot his name, he backed off from gold standard in America. When America backs off from gold standard, everything falls apart, right? But what happened with the smaller countries? The smaller countries who do not have enough money, like India, can we back off from gold standard? No, because no other country trusts us. Because, for example, India got independence, and they say, okay, we are not going to back with any gold or anything. We are going to take a lot more loans from everywhere in the world, and we are going to issue our own currency, and we're going to print a lot of currency, and we're going to buy a lot of things with that. And when that happens, nobody will buy anything, right? Nobody will trust that money, and the money doesn't have any value. So Indian government has been holding the gold for so many decades after independence. And I think it's in 1990s or 1980s, they decided we are no longer going to back up the gold. Now you can trust the government. Government is so powerful. We are going to take all the gold and sell it, or we're going to liquidate it, or we're going to move it. But Indian currency, you can respect now because we are a solid government. And that they knew everybody believes them. So they started doing it. The same thing if Venezuela does today, we will not like it. So Venezuela has a problem now. So it's based on the trust that we have in the government, right? So this is a story of money, right? Paper money is is fully dependent on government, right? We call it fiat money. And there's a legal tender. A country can have one or more legal tenders. And many countries have got common legal tenders. For example, European countries, they have a single money everywhere. One country can have multiple legal tenders. So all those things are okay. However, remember, one day government can pull all the money and say, because they have control. So it happened in India once. They pulled all the money to the not 2000 to 1000. They pulled it out, and people couldn't. Some people got into trouble, right? Because they had uh, some black money and all. But some people genuinely got in trouble because for example, I had some dollars, rupees here, which I did never took it to India, and I could never change it. I still have it because I couldn't go there on time. They gave 8 months time to remove it, replace it. I could never go there, so I still have the rupee. So it's a genuine good case, but there are a lot of other cases too. But what I mean to say is that there are implications of fiat and disadvantages to it. Last season, last year or year before last year, America printed a lot of money. So what they do is they just print. When they have a problem, they just print the money. How can they print the money if the money doesn't exist, right? It's going to affect the economy. So that's why inflation went up, right? They printed money and put it in the market. So now they are reverse printing it, right? But government, we have to trust the government on these kind of things. Government has their own ways to do things. But what we need to understand is, if you have money, would you like to hold that money in dollar or in any other country as a currency? What are the risks? For example, today China and America is in trade war. If China wins that war, America is in a little bit of a trouble, right? If China wins it, so dollar value comes down, and many people think dollar value comes down, and always people will think there will be one set of people will always think dollar value is coming down, and we cannot help it, and they probably is wrong. I don't think dollar value is going to come down in the next 10, 15 years. America has enough tricks in their pocket to handle it. So don't worry about that. But if you have hard-earned money and if you're worried the money dollar value will come down and you don't want to keep it in dollar, what do? You want to keep somewhere else. And that's a platform. That platform is called blockchain or Bitcoin, right? Countries like Ukraine or Venezuela, people who there are doctors in Venezuela, there are engineers in Venezuela. They make a good, decent earning and decent life, but they don't want to store their money in Venezuelan currency. What do? They put the money in Bitcoin. So many unstable countries are putting their money in Bitcoin, and decades of case studies show those who put in Ukraine and many places, those who put money in Bitcoin are winners later on, right? Because they somehow, when in a crisis, only they had money. Uh, so this is a good example of how Bitcoin saved them. Now, the story doesn't hold good for Americans and Indians and countries which are stable and steady. These are good for countries which are unstable, right? Anyway, so that's a story of money. Today's dollar is infinite supply because government decides to supply. One guy was once telling me there is a printer and they just print anytime when they feel like, and nobody will know because across the world people are holding money and they're showing value. As long as people see value and hold value, money can be printed. And one day they all realize, oh, they printed too much. That's only when we have the problem, and they will never realize it because individual countries are holding the money, and they will never know that too much money is printed unless the money all the money comes back to us, and suddenly we are in trouble. You have to buy back all the money, right? Any money that you print, you have to buy back if somebody asks you to buy back. And we are not going to face a problem where everybody will come and, oh, buy your US currency back. That's not going to happen. That could happen only if something like Bitcoin becomes mainstream and so a cooperated, enemy of America, like Russia, China, North Korea, and other 2, 3 countries will put hands together and decide, hey, we're going to blackmail America out of this, and they just come up, do something. Then dollar is in trouble, right? Otherwise, I don't see dollar getting blackmailed by these countries. Anyway, infinite supply means inflation, right? These are the two problems of paper money today. Alternate, people started talking about credit cards, banks, and if you really look at it, these are digital currency. People say Bitcoin is digital currency. No, Bitcoin is digital currency, but these credit cards are also digital currency. I send money to you using Sele, and within no time you get Google Pay. Within no time you get the money back, right? Money in your wallet. That's digitally. Money is digitally uh, transferring from my account to your account. All the current system, the current financial operating systems have got a lot of flaws, right? Banks do a lot of manipulations. For example, Wells Fargo recently, not recently, 2017 or something, did a lot of a huge banking corrupt. Some employees started booking something and they got into a lot of trouble. So, and mismanaging money printing and all those things can actually cause a lot of problems. Corruptions can happen when money is centrally managed, right? And it's hidden. Banks have ledger, and you don't see it. I don't see it. I cannot see Bank of America's ledger today. That's hidden. I can only see what my transactions went, right? But Bitcoin is not hidden. You can see all transaction, 100% transparency, but anonymous. Need of a government. So, question that you should ask about Bitcoin, that cryptocurrency when you go. So, anytime when I go to a Bitcoin meetup, you hear this every time, right? This argument, and I am tired of hearing this. But I want you to get an opportunity to get tired. So, let me explain this to you. People ask a question: should government be in control of us, right? And many people, all the Bitcoiners sit down the table and say, no, 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 we don't want government to get into our business because this is digital currency, baby. This is digital currency. We are going to be, no government can get into our business, right? And the same story I hear about privacy. When people talk about privacy, they say, oh, government cannot get into our private businesses, right? The government cannot overhear us. Government. But we have to also ask reasonable when we have a security problem, we have somebody a terrorist attack, all those things, we go and immediately blame the government, right? So how can government be responsible if you say no, government cannot interfere in your business too, right? So it's a we are trying to cherry pick for our convenience. That's not fair business. So I still feel government should have a little bit of control on everything. That's my personal opinion. Now, if I say this loud, all the Bitcoiners are going to kill me. And I don't think any Bitcoiner will listen to this video because they already know Bitcoins. So they don't have to listen to this. But I have a mixed opinion on this. Government should have certain controls on certain things. Otherwise, the dark world will take over and topple the governments and systems and countries. So I'm okay if government has certain control, but unfortunately or fortunately, Bitcoin cannot be controlled by governments, and governments are in trouble. But what government can do is one day government can say, pass a law saying that no, we are going to ban Bitcoin from tomorrow onwards, and government would do that. They wouldn't care about what you think, what your positions are. Government will do it for their own convenience, but they and ultimately they will win the game. They will not make a losers game. They will do it for their benefit. So do not think that, don't take it for granted. America has temporarily accepted Bitcoin. Does not mean that America will ever consider Bitcoin as the way of life, way of future. One day America could ban it. Especially if China or Russia or countries like that start adopting it, America might have a problem. Or China might have a problem. I don't know. Anyway, coming back to value, right? So let's talk about value. Why Bitcoin is valuable, right? Many people ask the question. Now, let's say I have a toy which I used when I was young. I have that toy, and it's a very interesting toy. I love it. And my wife tried to throw it away, and I've always never allowed her to throw it away, right? It's a Superman kind of a thing. Now, I have huge value for that asset, right? Nobody else has any value. What it means is I cannot sell it to anybody. If I sell it to anybody else, and they say, no, throw it away, I will give you nothing for this, right? Because I see value, nobody else sees value. I mean, just imagine somebody in my age group who played with the same toy, and he sees it, and he immediately falls in love with the same toy because he misses it so dearly, and he thinks that has $100. The value of that asset suddenly became zero to $100. So let's say there is one more person who sees it, third person sees it, and he sees a value of $100 too. So it doesn't matter. 1,000 people sees that thing, and one person sees the thing, and all of them think the value is $100, right? The first person sees it and he says it's $100, that value is set there. Doesn't matter how many more people comes. Every person who comes, they will all see $100, and because of this, all see $100. It has got $100 value. Now just imagine one person comes in, the 1,001 person, first person come in, and he says, "I see value only $100, but I am a rich guy. I can give you $1,000." Now suddenly the value of this thing went up to $1,000. Now the rest 999 people, they don't have money. The moment the value goes to $1,000, these guys want it. They say, "Oh, I want to pay $1,000." You see suddenly how things are going up. That's what adoption means. More people are interested in it. More people sees more value in it, right? The rare object, the precious rare object, a single object gets more value. But in the case of Bitcoin, it's not one object. It's 21 million objects. So it works a bit differently. The dynamics works a little bit differently, right? Because it's not as it's available. But in this case, that only I have one copy and I'm not selling it, so it's not available. It's like an artwork. But Bitcoin is available, so value will not be like that. But the more the people see the value, the more distribution happens, and value will keep increasing. And that's the only value Bitcoin has. Many people say Bitcoiners, people get into out from outside and say, Bitcoin digital currency, I don't see any value. What is it now? It's just it's bullshit. No value. So many of these people say Bitcoin does not have value. And what they fail to see is this part. A value is determined by people around it. Demand, right? If one person sees value, it has value. The second person sees value, it has a tradable value. Tradable value is important because you see value does not mean that it has anybody, you can sell it and make money. You can make money only if it has tradable value. And for that, there is at least two people in the world who sees value in it. Bitcoin today, millions of people see value. That's the only value Bitcoin offers. That's the only value any store of value asset, anything, gold, silver, Bitcoin, LTC, not XRP, LTC, BCH, ETC, no, not ETC, ETC is Ethereum. So all these coins, they are store of value coins, LTC, for example. They all, Doge is a store of value coin, right? All these coins have only value as long as there are buyers, as long as there are crypto community people who are ready to buy it. So that solves that issue for us. For if you never saw value in Bitcoin, this is it, right? Demand, popularity, adoption. So in 1990, 2009 time frame, there's a document released by one guy called Satoshi Nakamoto. Satoshi Nakamoto is actually an Indian. Nobody knows it. He's an Indian. He's currently living in India. He lives a very silent life. But many people think he's Japanese or Satoshi Nakamoto sounds Japanese. But he's a very brilliant Indian guy. Nobody knows it. Only I know it. I don't tell anybody. You keep it secret, but we will claim the credit. Eventually, we claimed the credit. Anyway, so what he did is peer-to-peer electronics cash system. So he said it's peer-to-peer electronic. We discussed about all those things. So he came up with this idea, and after that, the work was also done, and he disappeared. Nobody knows he ever existed. And the source code of this Bitcoin is available in internet. So you can go there, download the source code. You can look at it. You can actually create Bitcoin, your own Bitcoin, by cloning that and putting in the computer. It's called Genesis Computer. Put it there and all those things. If you are a programmer, you can create your own Bitcoin. No time. Typically, with the $10,000, $20,000, you can get it done professionally. Minimum Bitcoin, right? But if you want to do a highly sophisticated Bitcoin, you can spend $100,000, $200,000 and build your own a super a good platform, right? Uh, but it's available. So one day, one guy decided, Bitcoin looks nice, but it's not a big deal. I'm going to make a Bitcoin. So he copied Bitcoin and created something called Doge. And he put the Doge in the world and gave published to everybody. And Doge started became famous. And he said, oh, this is not a real coin. This is a meme coin. I'm just doing it as a parody. And it became super hit. But before it became super hit, he sold all his Doge for a used car that is worth probably $8,000, right? He sold the entire Doge for just a $8,000 car. He should have kept a little bit somewhere. Maybe he would have left a little bit somewhere. Now he is bitching about Doge. Now these are the people. He made a big mistake and he's blaming people and everything. That doesn't matter. But there's another guy who bought a pizza paying 10,000 Bitcoin. He gave 10,000 Bitcoin for pizza. So that's the most expensive pizza in the world ever anybody ate. So he's the luckiest guy in the world. There's only one guy ever in the world who ate the most expensive pizza. Not a king or emperor or a president or a prime minister could eat anything like that. So he's the royalty. Anyway, so that's the story about Satoshi Nakamoto. When he came there, people like me, we were in the industry, and many people came and said, "Digital currency, you should buy some Binoi." And I said, "Nah, no, I don't believe in it. It's all crap. I'm not gonna get it. It's like some scamming system." 2012, I was offered Bitcoin, didn't buy it. And there are certain things you repent because you didn't. I didn't have a friend I could trust who could tell me, Binoy, buy Bitcoin. If I had a friend, a godfather, or somebody who would tell me, Binoy, buy Bitcoin, I would have bought it that time because it's $1 I could get it, right? So if you look at me as that friend, and if I ask you to buy $10 chain link today, one chain link, one Matic, one Solana, one Avax, $100 Bitcoin, $100 Ethereum, right? If I just tell you only $1,000 if you spend, you get all these things and keep it for 15 years, right? What I'm saying is, I'm not asking you to give me $1,000. I'm asking you to buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Matic, Chainlink, Solana, Avax, IMX, all those things, $10, $10, $10, Doge. Keep all of them, 20, 25 of them. Go to Coinbase, rank, pick by rank, top 20, top 30, buy for $1,000 total and lock it in a locker room and forget it for 15 years. If I tell you, would you do it? You know, you will not do it because you don't really trust me now, right? The same thing mistake I did when 2012, a friend asked me to buy, I think he asked me to buy $100 or $10, I don't remember. He's not a friend, he's a stranger. That's why I didn't buy it. Now, my close friends, if I have a lot of close friends, right? So many friends, I am tired of them. If any of you want, take them for free. Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of many of them. I love them. I like them. They like me. But too many of them, and they don't listen to me. So if I just ask them, hey, send me $5,000, I need a help, they will send me. But if I ask them to buy $100,000 worth of these coins, they will not, because their priorities are somewhere else. They don't see what I see. They don't see the importance, right? So this is what I say. This is not a financial advice. It's a financial education. If you can handle $1,000, please spend that $1,000 equally on these 30 tokens. Buy them all. Forget it for 10 years. You can, if you are willing to do it right now, you can stop this video. Just go to Coinbase, CoinMarketCap, or Coinbase. So filter by tradable coins. Buy $10 or $20, $25 each. The top 30 tokens which are available there. Close Coinbase. Lock it with the passwords and all those things. Store it very safe somewhere. If possible, move this out into a wallet. If possible, close this video. Close everything. Do not study anything about Bitcoin anymore. You are done. The whole reason why I'm trying to teach you all these things to buy $1,000 worth of all these things. And if you can do without any of this education, you can save all the headache of going through all these things. Just go buy this. Store somewhere. Go enjoy, relax. Come back after 10 years. I'll be around. Call me if I'm around. I mean, if I'm around, I I hope I will be still in YouTube. I don't want to be. I want to be retiring at that time. I don't think that's going to happen, but if I can, that's lucky. But you see that you teach engineers, a teacher, a second grade teacher teaches engineers and doctors, and all the doctors and engineers are great, and teacher is still teaching after 20, 30 years. So I'm the teacher. So I am still be here teaching. But spend the $1,000, save all your time, close the computer, close the YouTube channel, you go home and you're all set. Or you can spend the next 30, 40 hours learning all these things with me in the next 40, 50 hours, which if you consider $10 per hour, that's $500 hours of worth of time is spent, or $1,000, 1,000 hours of $1,000 worth of time is spent. Then you decide by yourself, make bad decisions because you are half knowledge. Then you go pick up certain things. And when you pick up and everything, when Bitcoin goes down, you immediately sell everything. You lost $500 again. So you decentralized. This is how a Bitcoin network look like. A lot of computers, they all are connected together, right? Uh, Bitcoin, you have full control. You have full control. Government cannot come in. No middleman. Much cheaper. You can buy stuff. Today, you can buy so many things online using Bitcoin, right? You can buy services using Bitcoin. Watch out. When you deal with Bitcoins with people, you have to remember one important thing. Okay, this is very important. You do anything on Bitcoin, but never be on the wrong side of anything. What I mean to say is that never get caught in things which you don't want to do, right? I heard this, and even I was pinged by people. I get pinged on certain things in internet, right? Because I'm a crypto guy, so many people ping me. I also ask people for help sometimes, right? I need a developer, I need a programmer, right? So I post in a group. Suddenly, 200 people ping me. Some from Nigeria, some from many places of the world, but they all offer something, and I know they're scam businesses. So I get added into money trading groups. They say, "Oh, come on, bring first, put $500 and triple your money in 3 days." And you put $500, they triple it in 5 days. Now what you do? Oh my God, I got $1,500. I bring everything. I burn my bank and sell my car and bring $25,000. Probably they will triple it also. And after that, they take everything and leave. Right? This is a scam that I see. That's okay. You lost your money. Money you can always build, but there is something that you can never build. Your reputation, your legal status, your things like that. So, in many places, especially in India, I started seeing some people saying they sell USDT. They say, I'll sell USDT for you. You pay me 80 rupees or 90 rupees, right? Now, please remember, you need to understand what you're getting into. The money is coming from probably some bad organizations, right? They are money laundering. You are being one of the chain links of the chain, and probably they are offering a commission, right? They probably offer you 5% commission. You are a college student just getting out, somebody is offering 5% commission. The guy who's offering, you trust him because he has a nice face. Most likely he doesn't know the gravity of the situation. He's also being tricked, right? But there are some people who are actually deliberately doing all those things to move money around. Otherwise, why would they move USDT illegally to places? So anytime when somebody offers you crypto in any transaction in any country, that crypto can be traced, right? It's not like money. Let's say somebody gives you 10,000 rupees, and if that money comes from dirty hands, nobody can prove that you took that money, right? Because it's not provable. You cannot easily prove it, right? Police catches them and they say, but crypto is not like that. If one of the guys in the chain is caught doing something and he's arrested for something, they will trace the money to every aspect. So I don't accept or I don't send money to anybody I do not know. I do not trust the crypto money, right? 2 days ago, I had to make a small transaction. I had to do a KYC on him. I'm going to send him a tax document also because I don't want to take any risk. You better don't take any risk in your life because you are innocent, right? I am giving this advice thinking that you are innocent. Okay, I wouldn't advise a bad guy. So I'm just being clear. So do not transact in crypto with anybody who is who you do not know, who you do not fully trust. Relatives, friends, it's okay, but outsiders do not. There could be problems, and there are FBI and CIA. These people have got a huge list of blockchain addresses, the wallet addresses. They're chasing, they're tracing, they're monitoring, they're watching. So if that money comes to you and you're how they catch it, somewhere in the on the line, somebody will reveal their identity, saying that, oh, I am this address. Now, suddenly, these people are chasing everybody. The moment they get this address available internet somewhere, they get catch them. Then they start tracing these guys backwards. Okay, who sent you the money? Then they trace the other guy. They keep tracing. At the end, they will trace the real guy, right? So do not get involved in crypto transactions without proper due diligence. Hmm. Anyway, program and so we discussed all these things. So I am going to move forward. ETF, you heard about ETF, right? Uh, so two, three things I want to talk about is about solving underdeveloped countries, right? So countries like Venezuela does not have a proper stable currency. So it's an advantage for them to use Bitcoin as currency. Uh, so many countries who do not have any other way to do, they will start incorporating Bitcoin as currency. So Bitcoin, that's one of the use cases of Bitcoin. You will hear companies like XRP saying they are great in CBDC, and banking systems and all those crap. Uh, I don't think those guys are going to make it. Too late. There is certain time. Timing is everything in this game. XRP is doing all the show and it's not going anywhere. I'm tired of waiting. Bitcoin will catch up. Bitcoin is becoming smarter. Countries are going to adopt it as legal tender. Then game changes. So that's likely to happen very soon, right? And ETF stock market. So let me explain what ETF means and what happens in the stock market. So ETF is exchange traded funds. So earlier, there's something called mutual funds. So ETF was invented not too long ago, right? Earlier, it was called mutual funds. A money manager manages the account, a fund. Basically, he buys and sells stocks every day. hundreds of clients will have those money, the fund, or put the money in the fund. This money manager will take 2% commission. So the 2% commission that these guys are supposed to get is taken by the money manager, right? That's used to be the tradition. The money manager gets rich no matter what. These guys lose 2%, and 2% of money is a huge money because you have to realize a long-term implication of this money. That becomes that's like within 7 years or a short period of time, you are losing a lot of money. There's a mathematics behind it. So 2% is a huge money lost over a period of time. Tremendous money, right? That's why when the ETF came into picture, Bitcoin ETF came into picture, people were debating, somebody has got a 1.2, Grayscale has got 1.25 or something of that sort of interest rate, sorry, the rate, where BlackRock and all 0.2, right? So people started discussing it, that calculated, and they say the impact of this 1% extra is tremendous, right, over a period of time. It means half the money is gone. Consider half the money is gone, right? Over a period of time. So money managers were not a great business, and they have a lot of hidden fees and adjustments. So the money manager could do a lot of adjustments, right? They could actually move money by few trades, low volatility trades. They're called adjustment trades. They could set up certain stocks at a high rates of the market, of the market timing, outside the market regular market hours, and they buy those stocks at high rates, and they are selling it from probably from a different personal account, possibly, right, off market, and they adjust this, so they actually transfer money without even you knowing it, right? Those kind of crazy dirty tricks were played by money managers, right? Earlier days, regulations are one side, but manipulation is the other side. So ETF came into picture. ETF is exchange traded fund. What it means is the commission is, well, basically it's commission is very low, right? That's the only advantage. The very minimal commission. Now, uh, depending on the commodity, the commission changes. For example, gold, right? Gold needs storage. Even if they deal with ETF, the real gold needs storage, right? And everyday settlement. So ETF settles every day. Means every day, end of the business hours or morning of the business hours, they settle ETF. What it means is, so today I have 10 uh, units of gold in my hand, and 10 ETFs are sold. Today, one company comes and they buy 200 ETF, right? So money comes into the ETF fund. Now, we don't have gold backing it up, right? So we should buy 200 units of gold from the open market that day. That's called settlement. Now, that's not one to one. If there are 300 units of ETF sold, that does not mean exactly the same number of gold will be here. They do there are some margins and there are some units by which they manage it. But those are complications. But the settlement is a very important thing that we should understand. So Bitcoin is very easy. Gold, you need to buy it from the real gold market, and when they try to buy it, the value of gold probably is gone up already. So they are already at loss, right? That's why next day ETF value will come down if that happens. For example, some people buy ETF, gold ETF, real gold ETF, certain ETFs, not all ETFs, okay? And that day, gold price goes up. Now, next day when you come there, ETF price goes down. Why? Because ETF has to spend more money and buy gold and adjust it on the pricing, right? This is a business, logic and those things. So Bitcoin, the same story happens. So companies like BlackRock probably buy Bitcoin in advance, right? Because they know it, so they manage it through within the regulatory framework. They can manage certain things. So they buy in advance, sell certain things in advance, and things like that. But they have to buy things in advance for digital currency, Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's by volatility is too high. They cannot get money from the market and buy ETF, the Bitcoin later. If that happens, what happens is money will hit the ETF in an unexpected way, and value of the dollar, the ETF will come down, and they don't want that to come down because so many cryptocurrency promoters are comparing the prices, and they are comparing this guy has gone 35%, this guy has only 32%, so don't buy this. So those kind of people don't have any jobs. They are sitting there midnight instead of just sleeping. They're explaining Bitcoin and all those things. This is I don't know. They don't have a purpose for their life, possibly. I don't know. But anyway, this is how ETF works. So BlackRock takes money from the market. People invest. They go to Bitcoin, Coinbase, and buy Bitcoin from them and put it in their custody. That's all. They might buy the Bitcoin first, then get the money from the market, or otherwise, it all depends on their system. But I hope SEC, that government of America, has provided them with certain guidelines. I don't know. I have not read it. If you know it, please explain that in the comment section. People would like to learn. Whatever you want to talk about in the comment section, you are welcome to talk about it. I will try to respond if I see it. Now, I'm going to explain to you about Bitcoin, how Bitcoin. So, if you want to know, you know about Bitcoin, right? You learned about Bitcoin, you saw a transaction, but you still want to know, okay, Bitcoin, first thing to go is coin market cap, right? That's the first place to go whenever you think about Bitcoin. In coin market cap gives you the latest price of one Bitcoin. You can always buy half Bitcoin, $100 Bitcoin, $200 Bitcoin, whatever you want. This is 1 year chart of Bitcoin, which you see here, right? It was $27,000 and everything. This time, in my personal group, I had a group where 400 people are there. So I have been crying out loud to everybody to buy Bitcoin when it was $15,000 and everything. At this point, I was crying out loud. It went to $15,000 and all. It's not does not show in this chart. But everybody wants to buy at this time. I don't know why, but this is the time to probably slowly exit rather than buying, but don't exit. It's not time to exit. You go here. This is your one-stop starting point about Bitcoin on every day, any day, right? You come here, you all-time high you see it was 5 cents. I can't believe 5 cents Bitcoin. Now this is what we call market cap, and as you see, 1 trillion 323 billion market cap, right? That much value is in Bitcoin today. So that does not mean that if you sell all the Bitcoin in the market today, you'll get this money, right? Right? Because you cannot sell all the Bitcoin because there are no buyers like that. Today, alone 63 billion Bitcoins are changed hands. 63 billion Bitcoins changed hands. That means 4% of the Bitcoin moved from one place to another. 4% or 2%, or something like that, right? They say 19.66 million Bitcoin are in supply. So that means 1,340,000 Bitcoins are remaining in the miners bucket, right? Uncirculated, right? This is circulating supply. This is uncirculated. So when you calculate this 1.4 trillion, what it says is out for this 21 multiplied by this price is this market cap. So when you are into Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, do not, please, for heaven's sake, do not look at this number, 67,000. If you start looking at $67,000, you are in big trouble. You have to always look at this number, right? Market cap. You have to look at fully diluted market cap and market cap. These are the only two things that you should look at. Anything else that you look at, it's gonna divert you. It's gonna put you into trouble. Okay, let me give an example. In Middle East, Kuwait has a Kuwait dinar, KD. One KD could mean so many rupees in India, right? Or 200. I didn't check the conversion rate now. Probably years ago I checked. It was $300 or 200 rupees or something, right? 1 KD is 200 rupees. $1 is 80 rupees, right? But uh, so in that case, do you think 1 rupee is more valuable than $1? Definitely not, right? You know, 1 rupee, $1 is more valuable than one rupee, right? But let's say 80 rupee is equivalent to $1. That you agree, right? So the value of the currency is not based on the price like this, right? If you buy a rupee, you see 1 rupee here. If it's dollar, you get 80 rupees here, right? But you see that is denomination. So if you start looking at this and say, oh, I don't want US dollar because it's too expensive. I like rupee. Then you would better off go to Venezuela or Japan or Venezuela and get Venezuelan rupees, right? So when people see Shiba, dot 0.000001, the way I look at is, that's Venezuelan rupees. Bitcoin is US dollar, strongest, right? Uh, that gives you a perspective on what I talk about. The moment you start switching your eyes to the market supply, market cap, and diluted market cap, you are a winner already. Why diluted market cap? I will explain. Okay, so I'm going to talk about a coin called VIF. This is a meme coin. I don't want you to buy it, but you buy it, you make a lot of money. And if you go here, uh, 30% of the volume today alone, can you imagine a coin? 30% of the coin is being exchanged hands. Uh, so what it says is market cap and diluted market cap and circulated supply and total supply. Okay. Um, I wanted to show you the difference between market cap and diluted market cap. So you will know this is not a truly fair coin, right? Some coins will show only 10% of market cap, right? Here in 10% of the market cap. And they put 90% of hidden. That means this will be huge and this will be huge. And one day the 90% is in their hand. They will dump it, they make the money and leave, right? That's what it happens. WIF doesn't do that. WIF is too smart, much smarter than that. They have the 90 percentage dilute, they show it here, but they're hiding it somewhere else. Too smart. But that's a meme coin. That's what you expect from meme coins. I don't trust that coin from that point of view, but I buy it because it pumps up, and that's the whole idea. Anyway, now you understood this. You go down a little bit. You you see the website of any company. You go there. You go to the white paper, you go to GitHub here, and you go there and check your code. If you want to check Bitcoin source code, click here, you go to the GitHub and the GitHub. This is the source code of Bitcoin. You can click here, download the zip, unzip it, see the code, copy the code. It has an MIT license. Just copy the code. You can run your own Genesis code from your computer. Tomorrow you have Bitcoin with you. You can't just call it Bitcoin. You call it some. You can actually call it Bitcoin too. Nobody can challenge it too, right? Now, other thing that I want to show you here is the Explorer, right? A Bitcoin. So any Explorer that you have here. So where is the transactions? You click on website and that will take you to Bitcoin website. Now remember, Bitcoin is not an organization or a found. I don't think it's a foundation also. It's just a decentralized currency system. What happens is when you click on the website and go there, that website may not be necessarily owned by Bitcoin because Bitcoin is not owned by anybody. That website is probably owned by some private entity or a foundation. I do not know. Do not trust it completely. So give minimal trust in crypto, first of all. Second of all, sometimes people say, "Hey, buy the coin. This is my address of the coin." So coin also has an address. Now let's say Doge with hat. It's a coin, right? People say, "Hey, Binoy, buy this coin, and this is the address." They send me an address and say, "Binoy, buy the coin," right? What I do is I go here and contract address, I copy it from here, right? I copy the contract address. There is a good possibility somebody will text you and say, "Hey, go buy Doge with hat, and this is the contract address." They will send you the contract address. You go, you see the contract address, you copy the contract address, you go to website and buy it with that contract address. But that money does not go to WIF. That goes to somewhere else. Somebody scammed you. They took the money. So question is this, or the uh, conclusion is this: never ever accept contract address from anybody. You have to go here in Coin Market Cap, find out the contract address from here by yourself, use it. Never accept it from anywhere. Okay. Going back to this. Uh, Okay, what is next? What is so I think you have enough knowledge to navigate in this world today, in the crypto world today. You have layman's understanding about Bitcoin. Now your inquisitive mind is not ready to accept it. You want to learn these terms because you are not complete unless you get complete knowledge. You are your quest for knowledge is killing you. So what you do, go to internet, do a real transaction using MetaMask, download MetaMask and see how you can do a test Bitcoin. You don't have to buy the real Bitcoin. You can buy test Bitcoin. There is test networks, Ethereum. You can do a test network transaction. You want to read about mining. I will do a session later, but you might want to read about it. You want to read about the tech side of it. You want to understand how the block architecture works, transactions and blocks, how it is stored in the database, what kind of parameters, what's the database structure. You want to understand BFT, it's a consensus model. You want to also understand Tendermint, that's another consensus model. ETF, EFT, what is EFT? ETF, maybe ETF. You already know about ETF. Halving, right? I said less number of Bitcoin will be released from next month onwards for the miners. That's halving. Lightning Bitcoin is a different protocol on top of Bitcoin. SEC does not like it. Ordinal is very close to NFT, where you can actually uh, take a photo or a painting and convert it into digital asset and manage it. That's Ordinals, just like a NFT. BRC20 ecosystem is they're building a programming platform on top of Bitcoin. Price prediction. This is what I feel about Bitcoin. This end of this year, Bitcoin will be $200,000, just because of the sheer demand pressure from ETF. By end of or mid of next year, Bitcoin is likely to go to 350K, 450K range, right? Up to $500,000 is a possibility because we have two pumps happening now, and this is not is unlike any other pump. This is a super pump, but there's the diminishing return, law of diminishing returns that we need to also think about. When Bitcoin comes down again, it will settle somewhere in the 50 to $60,000 range in the next bear market. So you don't want to hit $500,000 Bitcoin, but you always want to keep some Bitcoin forever. 50% of your Bitcoin you sell when it becomes, keep selling when it is $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. Keep selling till it becomes 500,000, right? After 500,000, you hold, wait for the bear market, and when the bear market comes, do not get in the middle. When you stop it up and when it falls down, do not make much transactions on Bitcoin. just hold for the bear market, complete bear market. Otherwise, what happens is it comes down, you get in, it goes up a little bit, then it will just fall down. You are back in the bear market. So watch out. This is it. Your first grade, second grade, elementary school education is complete, right? Disclaimer: no